Let's actually talk about the main thing. Are we getting a correction? Are we going down? Should you sell your altcoins in order to buy back? Should you actually sell your altcoins and buy Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is the only thing that is actually moving this cycle and nothing else is moving in the market? And it's probably going to be a Bitcoin focused cycle where all the money are going to flow into BTC through ETF and nothing else will actually run up. Nothing else will surge up, no one else will make any money, only people who got BTC, only Bitcoin maxis, and no one else is the market, and no one else in the market is actually making any money. Let's actually respond to this question. Are we getting a correction? What will happen next? Should you be buying altcoins? Should you be taking profits on any positions that you have as well? Very, very important thing. There is a lot of narrative on these things that are going into the marketplace currently. We need to understand what is happening. We need to guide ourselves moving forward and act with conviction based on facts. If you would like to get a response to these questions, make sure to watch this video till the end, like this video and subscribe to this channel. Let's start. First things first, I wanted to start with the Boba chart. This is yesterday's video where I told you that if you sold Pepe, I only would excuse you if you actually sold it to reposition your profits into Boba. Let's see what happened after the video, right? We basically surged up from yesterday's lows to today's highs. We did a 4x on Boba. I definitely do not think that my video was something that basically pumped the token, because the channel is still quite low at this stage. 4,000 views, it can do nothing to the token at this stage. But we basically had done 4x from yesterday till today. Classic liquidity flow from Pepe into Boba. That's something I was telling you about for the whole time. Right now we're seeing the correction, things like that, but we will still go higher. These tokens are connected. Their teams are connected. It's inevitable. Picture of the bear will outperform each and every fundamental layer 1 modular parallelized blockchain AI DepIn that your influencers are very, very bullish on. It's quite interesting that I do find a lot of influencers being bullish on DepIn. I don't think that things that are developed currently and the things that will essentially appear this cycle would generally be functional and you would be able to use them properly. I do think that this narrative just comes out on the marketplace. I do think that there are a bunch of vaporware there, and I do think that probably not a lot of good things are going to happen with this narrative as well this cycle, in terms of the projects, in terms of the actually usability of this thing. But they will probably surge up, because I do think that we are getting a crazy amount of liquidity, especially with influencers talking about them. I'm just finding it very, very fascinating, the focus on this topic and on this narrative. Very interesting. Next thing I wanted to focus is the wallet of Bobo Whale. This is just a random wallet. I basically saw this guy selling recently and I decided to open up his wallet. As you can see, he has $500,000 of Bobo at this stage. It's not my wallet, unfortunately, because I was not DCing on 1 million. I was just waiting. It's very, very interesting that we can see that the guy was buying, buy. He was buying back through the whole year. And even after initial surge, even at 8 million, 15 million, 20 million, he was actually buying more, which is very, very healthy for any type of project. The only reason he might be buying more here because he believes that even this $2,000, $3,000 that he would be buying here, they would still do a bunch of X's from 20 million market cap, right? And that's why he's buying at the top. Very interesting. And we just saw him selling. He sold $11,000 worth of Boba, and at the same time, right after, he has done 2 purchases. For $6,000 boss, he bought some more, which to my knowledge is very, very healthy for any type of projects, for any type of crypto coins, if whales are actually buying more, because they believe that this thing would generally just surge up, moving higher. Whales buying the tops. That's the only thing I need to hear about any token, about anything. If you want to check by yourself, Just go to top holders index tools, copy their wallet addresses, goes to Zerion, input their wallet addresses, and basically see what they're doing with their Bobo tokens. It will provide you with very, very great understanding what is happening, what was happening, and what most likely will happen moving forward. If whales are buying even at these levels, that's the most bullish signal you can basically have at this stage, because they probably, if the guy has $500,000 in Bobo, he probably knows something, right? Don't you think? Don't you think so? Let's actually move to the main topic of this video. Do I think that we are getting a correction on BTC and altcoins? To answer this question, I want to ask you something. Where altcoins actually grew? So we saw like 2x, 3x, maybe like 10x on Solana from absolute lows, but that's a different story, right? Where they actually did grow. Did you saw a bunch of altcoins actually growing from the lows? I won't say so. Like, imagine your bear market PTSD. Like, did they grow? Obviously not. They did not grow like at all at this stage. And the main thing about my thesis is because this is stock market, S&P 500, like this thing where boomers are putting the money and waiting for 10% returns, and then they are very, very happy after the 10% returns, and then they go and buy themselves, I don't know what boomers actually buy in the US. You feel free to just tell me in the comments what boomers are buying in the US, right? And we see that we reached all-time highs here back in January, right? And we are surging for 1.5 more months already, so 45-50 days. We are surging up, and it doesn't seem like we will turn and do some things. And interesting thing that we basically have with BTC. With BTC, we did not reach all-time high yet. We have certain move yet to breach to basically reach new all-time highs. So you might want to think in the first place that this is type of the catch-up trade that you might expect from BTC happen, because all these markets, they're still very, very correlated. All these guys that made profit on the stock market, they obviously know about BTC ETF. Imagine some old guy coming to a golf club and he's having his cigar, right? And he's talking to his friend, and his friend is actually bragging. Like, I actually bought this BTC ETF recently, and I've done 50% in 1 month. And the guy who's just smoking a cigar, it's crazy. He never heard about something like this. He had to wait in stock market for 20 years to get 50% return on something. Maybe he was waiting for 40 years to get a 50% return. And here the guy just made 50% in 1 month. He's calling his financial advisor right away. Buy this Bitcoin thing, buy this Bitcoin ETF, use the profits that we just made from the stock market and put them into Bitcoin ETF, which definitely makes sense. So I do see inflows into BTC increasing and BTC essentially surging up. I do think that something we just saw is a very, very small part of the inflows, and I think it's going to be like a flywheel. It's just going to surge, to increase, to move up, things like that, because momentum is building currently, just starting. And the only issue I see that maybe these boomers, they would want to fixate and take profits on like 50% because they've never seen 50% in their life in 1 month, right? But there are other boomers who are sidelined, who are crazy, who are waiting to enter into this thing as well, who will be buying the correction like crazy because they just saw their neighbor that they hate from the time they were 20 years old. The guy with a better wife, better job, better business, right? Better looking, better car, doing 50% in BTC in 1 month. They want to get in as well. They want these better cigars in the golf club, and they want all the older guys in the golf club to actually listen to them instead of this guy. They want to be a star as well. They want to buy BTC, right? I know it's a bit insane, it's crazy theory, things like that, but I don't think we should neglect FOMO that these guys would basically have. Do you know this thing where you basically have horses, different horses racing, and all the guys that basically come and bet on these horses? And it's very, very popular between older guys. You would only see older guys basically spending like the whole day there. And I would say these are retail older guys, right? Because rich older guys that made a bunch of money, that have tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars. They hang out in golf club, in expensive restaurants, with escort, on the yachts and things like that. And what a hero this guy is, who's basically telling them right now, like, I just bought this Bitcoin ETF last month and I was able to do 50%. They've never seen this type of returns. They've never seen these type of returns. I do think that this flywheel would essentially start, because we have the battle of all the wallets, as Alex was basically saying in the previous video, versus US economy. Because these are not just individual, all the guys that are rich. These are pension funds, different companies, they all would be adopting this asset as well. And even if you don't believe anything else, even if you think that it will crash, it still has to do a catch-up to S&P 500. And everything in life, in large organizations, goes with delay. If you're running a business, if you're implementing this new process, new procedure, if you are hiring a new employee, you understand that the results of the work of this person and the outcomes of these new processes, you would only be able to see in 2, 3, 4 months. Obviously, it depends on the size of the business, and it depends on the cycle of you actually selling something and delivering something as well. I'm telling about mid-sized business, right? You would always be experiencing a delay. And I think this is exactly something that we should be seeing in the market as well. One other thing that I actually wanted to discuss is the narrative. Do you understand propaganda? Do you understand narratives? Do you understand that there are people actually working on a daily basis to create narratives? And there are reasons for certain narratives to be installed into the mind of the public, to be installed into the mind of the masses. And people who are playing the market, they're also masses, especially crypto guys as well. And we still have this narrative that we will see a correction, we are going down, we should be buying altcoins somewhere cheaper because everything will correct, BTC will go down 20-30%, and altcoins will correct 70-80%. So altcoins are correcting. You're saying that altcoins are correcting 10%, all right, 10% is fine, right? 20%, 25%, 30%, 35%. And no one actually wants to buy them. You're telling me that there are no people sidelined with crazy FOMO watching after all these gains, and they won't want to buy at 30% correction. So because in order to altcoins to actually correct to 80%, that would mean that at 79% correction, no one is still buying altcoins, right? No one wants to get in, which is crazy to me, which is very, very crazy to me. That's the same story with BTC reaching $10,000, right? If BTC is $10,000, that means that there are no people in this world that are buying BTC at $10,001. You need to understand these things. And do you imagine that with this amount of people sidelined, there are a crazy amount of people sidelined. They're just not very, very noisy at this stage. They're very, very silent. No one is screaming, oh, I'm sidelined, you guys are making all these gains and I'm not, and that's why I'm screaming, and that's why I'm letting everyone know that I'm sidelined. That's why I'm letting everyone know that I was not entering into the market because I was a pussy, because I was afraid, and that's why I'm not making any money. While you guys are making 2x's, 5x's, 10x's, 15x's, and I'm not. And I'm actually sidelined. Do you think anyone actually screaming about that? No one is screaming about that. They are very silent, but at the same time, there are so many people. And we still have this narrative that we are going nowhere, that we are going to see a correction, with altcoins correcting 70%. If altcoins are correcting 70%, no one would want to buy altcoins at 69% correction from these levels. Do you think it's going to happen? I don't think so. One other thing as well that I wanted to mention. We see that altcoins currently, they are at around mid-level in comparison to the previous all-time highs and previous performance as well, right? And BTC right now, BTC currently somewhere here. So the analogy of the level of BTC, of the current level of BTC to altcoins, altcoins should be doing at least 80% move up to reach the current level of BTC. Do you understand what is happening? BTC should reach the levels of S&P 500 and altcoins should catch up to BTC in the first place. And then catch up to BTC catching up to S&P 500. Do you understand the risk reward right now? Do you understand how cheap they are at this stage? How cheap these altcoins still are. It's so crazy to me. It's so crazy how I think you have to zoom out. I think you have to zoom out and understand what is actually happening. Imagine yourself in a year from now, actually using a time machine and coming to you and seeing that you are not exposed to altcoins currently, or maybe seeing that you are selling your altcoins right now to buy a Bitcoin because you think that the Bitcoin is the only thing that is actually moving and nothing else is going to move this cycle. Imagine what this guy, what yourself in a year from now using a time machine would do to you if you are currently selling your altcoins and putting them into Bitcoin because Bitcoin is the only thing that is surging up currently. Or you being underexposed into altcoins at this stage. This is greed. Greed and bear market PTSD stops you from making money in this market. You need to understand these things. Be exposed. That's best risk reward play at this stage. We correct 40%. That's max of altcoins that I see. 40% from here. Just have some cash on the side. What bad can happen? You will have leverage. Use 2x leverage. With 2x leverage, you will not get liquidated even if we are correcting 40%. Even if you're entering at the top of and we are correcting 40% from the top. That's just crazy to me. One other thing that I wanted to show with Bitcoin, right? Let's actually check out the dates. Check out the dates and what was happening with altcoins in these dates as well. So we have this major move up on BTC from December 12th to basically January 10th of 2021. Let's see what was happening with altcoins. December 12th, we are here, right? January 10th. All right, this is February. Oh, January 10th, we are here. So this is our move. Let me actually show you, right? I will figure out this thing just in a moment. This is our move in altcoins right here in these dates, right? Right here. This is it. This is our move in altcoins. What actually happened with BTC at the exact same time. This is our move. BTC went from $17,000 to $43,000. That's 2.5x. Altcoins basically the same, right? 115 to 162, 50%. This is exactly what is happening currently. And right after that, when we saw a correction on BTC, we saw a crazy move on altcoins. We built momentum. We reached these highs. Then we saw a correction and then we just went up like crazy. Do you understand why the risk is so high at this stage? With you actually being not exposed into the market. I would say that the most degen thing that you can be doing at this stage is not being exposed into the market. It's more degen than buying a picture of the bear in the bear market. Because the bear is the meme coin of the bear market, right? It's more degen to buy the picture of the bear in the bear market and holding this picture of the bear in the bear market than being not exposed to altcoins currently. They didn't surge up. They didn't grow. They have 80% move to catch up to the current levels of BTC still. With any correction on Bitcoin, what we might be seeing is alt season. They are already surging up. The only thing that stops them from a huge impulse is actually a correction on BTC. When these guys would start seeing that altcoins are going up and their BTC holdings, they see BTC 62K, 60, 58, 56, they would start sell BTC and buy altcoins. With BTC, dominance will go down and altcoins will surge up like crazy. This is something I think might be happening these days, these weeks, any time soon. That's why right now to be not exposed into altcoins is way more degen than buying the picture of the bear in the bear market, right? Couple things I wanted to add about memes because people are saying that, you know, memes are surging the last in the cycle and the fact that they're surging the last, that basically means that we are getting a correction, things like that. So let's actually recall what was happening. We had BTC surge, then we had Chainlink surge, then we had Solana surge, IMX gaming, AI, and all the other things after that. But back in the end of October, November, December, then we basically had a cool off after ETF, and then the whole thing started again. It's very important that right now the most things that are surging are memes and BTC. And following yesterday's video, if you're following this channel, if you were watching an interview with the market maker Alex, he basically said that 30% of meme coin volumes are coming with institutional funds already.
That's what I said. It got bit now. It's a gate for institutionals for memes and like on-chain trading. So they do a lot. I think 30% of volume on meme coins now is institutionals.
BTC surging because institutionals are buying BTC through ETF. The same thing is happening with the altcoins, because the same institutions, they basically work with platforms like Godbit and some others, and they essentially trade in meme coins, working with meme coins as well, because everyone understands that most performing narrative of this cycle are going to be meme coins. And you have your winners already. We just have to loan them. You just have to put some money. You just have to follow what I have to say. That's the only thing you have to do, right? Therefore, even if you would think that, alright, meme coins, they are end of certain cycles, like end of the local cycle, because we had all the things pumping, and right now we kind of have meme coins plus all the coins as well, because they seem to start to pump as well. It's very interesting, because if it's an end of the local cycle and we should be seeing a correction in order to enter next wave, let's say we are at the end of wave 1 currently. Wave 2 should be a correction. Wave 3 we are surging up even higher. Are we actually getting a correction? Are we actually at the end of wave 1? Because we have 3 to 4x on new projects from the lows, altcoins. That's so low at this stage. I do think that like we all have this crazy bear market PTSD. We don't understand what's possible. We were taught to be afraid. We were taught to be scared. And that's why there is still this narrative that we're going lower, don't buy. You have to understand why these people are actually running this narrative into the masses. They don't want you to buy. They want you to buy higher. They want you to buy at the top. Therefore, you would be in the market for a very low amount of time. You will not make enough access, which will basically result in you just writing the whole thing down once again, exactly as you did it in 2021, because you would feel that you didn't make enough money. And that's why you would be holding, you will be waiting, you will be riding this wave down. It's very important to be in the market as well. Time in the market beats timing the market. That's very important. Let's finalize the meme coins narrative, right? People are really calling top on meme coin season when BTC hasn't even crossed all-time high yet. Meme coins are a global selling point for speculative liquidity. Anyone from any country can access them much more easily than any stock in the world. That's why Doge could rip so much harder than GameStop. This is a multi-month global momentum trade, the froth of which you cannot possibly imagine. Total meme coin market cap last cycle was 100 billion last cycle, and we usually get multiples on market cap highs every cycle. It's not just retail that are coming in, but also HWN traders, hedge funds, etc. As we know now, last cycle we saw 11 figures crypto and trade funds enter the Doge trade. Elon's family office owned billions. Dogecoin millionaires went on national television. The entire world waited for Elon to mention Doge on SNL, and you had Doge Lambos in every major city. Coinbase breaking the other day was just the starting gun. We have a ways to go. Do yourself a favor, check the chart, and step away from the sell button. To finalize everything I have to say, selling your altcoins currently, deadly mistake. Selling your altcoins to buy BTC, not so bad because you will still do some access, but you will get wrecked so hard you can't imagine. You should be understanding things from the risk-reward point of view. Play poker, understand your bets. You have your altcoins currently. Worst thing that might happen to you, it's 40% dip, max. 40% dip max on your altcoins. If you're in longs, that's obviously a different issue, and a lot of people are in longs currently. You might be losing 40% of your money if you're on spot holding altcoins currently. Your upside is pretty much infinite. especially if you would be holding through the upcoming year. Just crazy what type of upside you would be getting. It's so crazy, especially if you're holding winning altcoins. You can't fathom how much they will actually run. I feel that the narrative of us going down is actually created by people that never experienced bull market from the beginning. And I do believe, and it feels like a lot of players on the marketplace currently, they're the guys that basically joined at the mid or at the end of the previous cycle. So they only were able to catch the last move. They probably rolled the whole thing down to bear market. They went here, they were here for the whole bear market, and they're very hurt. They're very scared currently. You need to elevate this thing. You need to listen to me. Altcoins are a great pick and a great play currently. If you're underexposed, buy now and just forget. If you want to leave some cash on the side and things like that, be exposed to altcoins and 75% of your cash for altcoins and leave 25% for the dip. Most likely you will not be getting one. Most likely you would just be doubling down on your winners. One day would be do 2x, 3x, 4x and things like that. It's very important. It's a nice risk reward play currently. The most diligent thing that you might do currently is actually stay out of your altcoins. It's 100 times worse than buying picture of the bear in the bear market and holding to the picture of the bear, right? Well, that's pretty much everything I have to say, my friend. Have conviction, research your projects, be exposed into the market currently, and I think upcoming year will be the best year of your life. Thank you very much for watching this video. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.